Pony Pals, it's Emma, Courtney, Kenzie, and Carly from Paint Pony Studios, and today we are going to be talking about our BreyerFest 2021 speculations for a horse of a different color. This may look a little bit different than the one that we did last year because we're still quarantined, so we decided that we were going to pick a campfire in Star Stable and just hang out and talk around the campfire about BreyerFest predictions. So Courtney and Kenzie did this video with me last year, but Carly was not there. So now we have Carly, which is great. We missed you last year, Carly.
Oh, I'm sorry that I was...
It's fine. So, at this point, we really don't know a whole lot about BreyerFest other than the theme because of the backlash that happened with the Celebration Horse. Basically, like, last year we had the Celebration Horse to go off of, and then everything else we just kind of like tried to fill in the blanks based around what we thought, you know, that kind of led us to. Now we have no Celebration Horse, so do you guys think they're even gonna replace the Celebration Horse, or do you think that they're just gonna like not have a Celebration Horse this year?
I saw somebody post something about like a decorator instead, because then they won't need a legit horse.
Oh, that would be... See, they've never like done that though. It's always been a real horse, so it's curious. I'm curious. Yeah. I mean, I think I don't think it would be hard to find another like Celebration Horse, because the chances that we're actually gonna have a physical event in Kentucky this year are not high. Like, we're probably not going to have a physical BreyerFest once again this year, which to me is not a big deal, but, like, I know that's, like, a deal breaker in the contract is you have to be willing to travel if you're the Celebration Horse owner. But, like, with that taken out of the equation, I would assume that it would be a lot easier to find somebody. So, I mean, there's plenty of horses that don't have the same problems that the Bradshaw's horse does. So maybe we'll be lucky enough to get another Celebration Horse. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any that like, I mean, other than I know I brought up, and she's been brought up a lot of times, that DA remote control, that Arab Hackney cross with all the weird somatic mutation. That she would be like super cool. Yeah, I think Store Special would work for her too.
I saw something about the owner of Endo, the blind horse, reaching out to Breyer, so I don't know.
Huh.
Something going on there?
See, I wonder how hard it would be though because like they'd probably have to gouge the eyes out of a mold, and it's like,
they could, or they could just leave them and paint over them.
That's true. I mean, that's part of Endo's features though. Are those, you know,
I feel like
eyes,
his owner
so.
like said in the past that she wants it to, if it would happen, she would want it to like portray him without eyes.
Right.
Like I feel like it was a conversation before.
I mean, I know for a fact that she's brought up like stuff about him being a Breyer, because I know there's that big controversy around like whether or not people can actually use him as a reference for a custom.
Yeah.
Which to me is like pretty bogus. I mean, you don't own horse colors.
Right.
So, you know, but whatever. So when I started a little Google Doc for us earlier, and I know everybody's looked at it. But I'm just going to go and list kind of the molds that were used in 2020, not counting the live auction models. So when we started speculating, these were like horses that we decided to avoid. I mean, for traditionals, the Show Jumping Warm Blood, Esprit, Hamilton, Altenai, Flash, the Old Frisian, Latigo Strapless and Illusion Mare, the Hess Bull, Othello, the new Welsh Mare and Foal, Gorg, the Trakener, Sham, Giselle, the Walking Shire, Brishin, Bouncer, well, although Bouncer was a crystal, and then the newsworthy Jumping Pony. For stablemates, we had the newer Walking Thoroughbred, G2 Clydesdale, Cantering Morgan, Mini Croy, actually it's Mini Cree, my bad, Darwin, the Irish Draft, Rivet, the Running Thoroughbred, Django, Cantering Warmblood, G2 Arab, and then we had one classic, and it was the Mighty Muscle, because they always do that classic deco. So, when we started thinking about what actually, like, what molds they were going to use for the special runs, we tried to avoid a lot of those. I mean, Hamilton and Altenai were Raffle models, so I'd say that those are probably still fair game. But, like, I know they're not going to use George again, like, for a special run, because, no, they don't use the same mold 2 years in a row like that.
But as far as they'll use Hamilton because he was the regular run for this year.
Yeah, and then he's also a Collector Club special. So, like, there's a pretty good possibility that they won't use Hamilton, which I know will bum a lot of people out. But the thing is, they're already using Hamilton, like, a lot. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of find that weird that they're already using Hamilton so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they know that's because it's essentially replacing the old Clock Horse. So they know that they've got to, like, milk that for all it's worth because everybody loves it. So, but on the topic of the theme, because the theme is horse of a different color, Breyer had this to say. It says, the canvas of our world is painted with a myriad of eye-catching colors and patterns of our beloved equine companions. We stand in awe of the unique beauty of the horses gracing our planet, Pinto, Appaloosa, Brindle, Roan, and every color in between. The stories you hear and the horses you will meet at BreyerFest will leave you inspired. Delve into the world of colorful horses and have some fun. BreyerFest Horse of a Different Color also shines a spotlight on the way horses bind us together as a community. In the same way we connect with a fine work of art, with shared inspiration and emotion, we will come together for the shared experience with horses in a way only Breyer can create. I know, like, when this theme dropped, a lot of people were like, oh, Horse of a Different Color, but it doesn't sound like it's about art. And then they put that little snippet in there. In the same way we connect with a fine work of art. And I just, like, chances are by the time this comes out, if, okay, I will cut this if it has not come out. If it has come out, I will leave all this in and I will look like a fool. So, editing Emma, if the stone calendar is already out, you do not need to cut this. But if it is not, please. So it makes me wonder if, like, how are they gonna name these special runs then? Like, you know, because normally they, right, because normally it's something to do with the theme, or it's always something to do with the theme. So, if they're kind of dabbling into the art world, are they gonna name them after painters? Are they gonna name them after like art utensils? Are they gonna name them after, like, colors in different languages or something like that?
I would like a horse named Crayon, thank you.
Yes.
That's my request.
Crayon.
Crayon.
Crayon. We need a horse named, like, Salmon Pink or something like that. It's an Ackelteak. It's an Altenai in like that really, really pale cremello. So you can see all his pink skin. And his name is Salmon. I find it especially curious about the fact that Breyer specifically, and they really, really wanted us to see, that they put the color brindle in there. because they haven't really done, like, when it comes to special runs, they really don't do anything that out there. I mean, the last one that I remember that was such a strange, like, that was a really strange pattern, was 2017, and they did a black Rabicano on the Shagya Arab mold. Do I remember? Oh, it was Kali, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the name? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So that was the last, like, kind of weird pattern that they did. So to hear that they're definitely going to showcase a brindle horse, like to me, that's a definite if they're actually putting it into.
Yeah, if they said that, they can't go back on that.
Yeah.
People will know.
Yeah, people will absolutely riot. Now here's the kicker though. Are they saying brindle and then they're going to give it to us on a raffle model?
I think that's what it's going to be, because that's a really difficult thing for them to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They've done it, like, once before, and it was on a one-of-a-kind.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, however, that's kind of the case with Rabicano too, because they did, like, a kind of one-off Rabicano with Polaris, like, back in the day on Huck Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But then the last time they did Rabicano was on a one-of-a-kind. So it was like you've had 3 in Breyer's history where it's been Polaris, Kali, and then that one-of-a-kind Ashquar.
That was a really nice model too.
I know. So it'll be curious. Like, I'm curious to see what exactly they're planning on doing that. But they also, and I know I don't have this exact quote with me, but they did also mention that their artists have been dialing it up. Which
don't like that.
That makes me a little bit nervous. Although, if that's the case, maybe we will get a brindle that's an actual special run and not just a raffle model. But while we're talking about raffle models, we might as well do that first.
Yeah.
So, by this point last year, did we have a raffle model already? Like, when we did this last year, I can't remember if we already had the Esprit raffle model. I don't think we did.
That was the early bird?
Yeah, that was the early bird one. Which, that one kind of
Gotcha.
seems to be... The early bird always seems to be a, kind of like a shot in the dark. Like, I definitely didn't predict that they were going to use Esprit for anything last year. That's just not a very popular mold, so...
I think they did a nice job on him, though. I mean,
I do too.
glossy dapple black always goes well.
Yes, that's absolutely true. So we were thinking, and I know this is like a lot of the stuff that's on the Google Doc is just like me and Courtney going back and forth. So Carly and Kenzie, if you guys have like any input or anything that varies from us, like totally feel free to jump in and say so. I'm just watching Kenzie's penguin. I don't know what it's doing.
He's special.
He's doing something. Anyway, so we kind of figured, and I know I have Vermeer down on here, but I think our best, like, I think the most obvious choices for the raffle models for 2021 are Troubadour and Fireheart.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't figure out, we definitely thought one of them would be a brindle. But I think Fireheart would make the better brindle. Because, I mean, Mustangs come in a lot of crazy colors, and I think it would be more feasible for a Mustang to be a brindle. However, I know there's some brindle Morgans out there, but I do think it would be kind of cool to have, like, some kind of reverse dapple pattern or, like, a silver black, you know, and I know they're gonna do, like, some really flashy stuff. So I don't think they'll have, like, a Troubadour recolor. I think they might save some of that for like, the customs contest. which we could totally be wrong here, and they'll use like Vermeer and Fireheart. They're definitely going to use Fireheart as a raffle model, though. That is an absolute. So last year for the custom, or this past year for the customs contest, they actually like went way back and used recolored Latigo. But honestly, this next year maybe they'll use a recolored Troubadour and they'll go Black Splash Sabino, or Black Splash, not Sabino, just Black Splash. It's Saturday night.
That kills my heart.
I know, that would be such a. I mean, everybody here, and chances are a lot of people watching saw the black Troubadour that I did, and that was awesome. Like, he looks so good in black. That would be wonderful. I mean, to me that would be on the same level as the black and white Bristol. That's just fantastic. So Fireheart for sure. Definitely, I don't know if they do like a bay brindle or there's some like really weird gray brindles. I almost think bay would look better on Fireheart though.
Yeah. So I found out that our first sneak peek for last year was actually Epona. Not the
no raffle models or anything.
Yeah.
Do you know when that came out?
I'm looking now.
I bet because I don't think it would be before January 1st.
Oh no, that was like end of January, early February when they put that first sneak peek up.
Okay. I'm so with everything that happened with the celebration horse, it makes me wonder what exactly like when they're gonna start putting out sneak peeks for things, because that whole celebration horse debacle could totally throw them off with other things. Not that I'm saying it necessarily would, because that's kind of, the celebration horse is kind of its own thing, whereas the special runs have been, like they're not based on real horses, so what backlash is there to have, But it just makes me wonder if this whole thing is gonna like slow that down. I don't know.
So their first post actually containing Difflin was on April 30th.
Wow.
Oh
boy.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it says that it was the last chance to enter for the early bird tickets. So they never actually like made an official post about it.
Okay.
So
That's weird.
yeah, maybe they open that up January 1st or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Whenever they start selling BreyerFest tickets. I don't know.
Yeah, I know BreyerFest tickets do go on sale early January. However, again, that may change, because I know they said on the website that they're still, they have not announced whether or not it'll be in person yet. So I'm wondering if they'll like wait to, if they'll actually like wait to start selling tickets until they actually come to a decision, because they're gonna have to come to a decision by the end of January. Like, the way things are going right now, we won't have in-person BreyerFest, and I don't think we should have in-person BreyerFest at this rate. But they have to make that call, because a lot of people were kind of unhappy with how it turned out last year as far as ticket sales. So they've got to go one way or the other, and they've got to start letting people know right now.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to do the same thing I did last year, where not necessarily inserting a speed paint in here, but I'm going to make mock-ups of these raffle models, like all these models, and put them in the video. So if we're going, we got Bay Brindle for Fireheart, and so would we do like silver black for Troubadour? Some kind of silver black. Or like a really dappled buckskin on Troubadour?
Buckskin.
Dapple buckskin. Okay. I'm gonna write these down.
Probably The Raffle models are always super flashy, so
Some wild Sabino, because Morgan's carry Sabino.
I'll look for something.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm gonna write these down because otherwise I'll forget. And Courtney, send me, yeah, if you guys find like really out there patterns, send them to me. Okay. Do we want to jump? We want to jump into. I think single day stablemates are what's next on the dock. So, I'm really thinking that Cassidy will be a single day stablemate. They tend to do that. So, I also could see them doing some kind of wild colors for these horses.
A Fjord.
Oh!
We forgot about that. Because he used the Premier Club one.
Kenzie put it on here. Lyric.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Good job,
Yeah.
Kenzie.
I mentioned I mentioned Mini Prince Charming. Because the only use so far we've had of Mini Prince Charming has been in the unicorn blind bags.
Yeah.
So I think Mini Prince Charming in some kind of Rabicano color. Not to copy my own paint job that I did years ago, but I did a Prince Charming in black Rabicano, and it was one of the prettiest horses I've ever painted. So I think like that would be super cool. I know they've been using Alborozo a lot, and I think he's actually in the Stablemate Club lineup for 2021. So I'm gonna retract Alborozo from my initial guess, because I have a feeling that if he's in the Stablemate Club that they won't do that again.
I could see Murano instead of him, just because they haven't used that much yet.
That's true. Darley wasn't super popular with people, but I could totally see Murado. And actually, Corbin they used last year as the tent stablemate.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that it's like they could do enough with it, but they might decide to, because he was a deco.
Right.
Although we have to think that one of these is probably going to be a deco.
I know. Well, Albie's already been a deco. Corbin's already been a deco. Darley as the deco would be really cute, but like, we were trying to think about this earlier with deco colors. Like, what kind of deco colors for a year? Because like, there's so many possibilities if it's art based or even just color based.
You remember the Missouri Foxtrotter Frankenstein looking thing, where it's got all the colors stitched together?
Yes.
Probably another version of that.
For one of the big decos?
Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like it would be too hard for them to mass produce that on a stablemate.
Yeah.
Definitely a big version.
No, not for a stablemate.
I mean, the past couple of years the Alborozo didn't even have eyes.
No,
like when you guys remember that one? That was the superhero year, and he was just purple green color shift.
Yeah.
So, what if this one's got like weird interference paint colors or something like that? I don't know. Like, the single day stablemates are so hard to predict.
I want to see them do like something fun though, you know? Because like with the green Corbin he had like the little clover leaf on him, and he was clear wear, but he also had like the green and the gold and...
Right, he had like an interference gold over him and gold hooves or something like that. I didn't actually get one, so I don't...
yeah, he has the interference gold and gold feet.
And
so it would be nice if they did like rainbow
Oh, here's
Not
a thought.
One of their bad ones.
Okay. So, previous years of BreyerFest, they last year they did all realistic colors. What if this year it's all decos?
No.
So all the single day stablemates are like a different rainbow color.
I don't like that.
Cuz they've got the really fluorescent candy color airbrush paint clearly if they're doing stuff like Spectrum. So that, I don't know, to me that seems feasible, or maybe do half and half, to our deco and to our realistic, or throw one deco in there, when they did the was it the okay oh no, it was the racehorse year, the racing year. They had Big Lex in there.
Yeah.
And he was blue. So there's that kind of possibility too. I mean, we're we're not going to be right about any of this.
Nope.
We're not.
Never are.
No, the point of doing this is not to be right. I just love though how last year we spent so much time and we're oh man, it's going to be so disappointing if they didn't do all these things, and then they didn't and we were all disappointed, and then it's well, duh. We just
But they did use your Bristol design for Redmond.
That is true. That is true. That is the closest I've ever come to predicting an actual OF model. Let's get closer this year, ladies.
We're trying.
I know. We also put on here that they could possibly use other shrunken traditionals, but I think they're gonna save that for the best of BreyerFest stablemates, and I guarantee you they're gonna do another set like that this year. I guarantee it.
That one sold really well last year.
Yes. It was also really pretty, and there's a part of me that regrets not getting it, but I have so many stablemates, guys.
Yep.
I don't need any more stablemates.
But they're so nice.
I know, but they're so small, and I have an army. Speaking of which, I need to do a little bit of a collection cleanup again. But let's look at I'm going to go back to our special run. We can start talking about our special runs now. So there were 9 last year. And we've kind of narrowed it down to a pattern where there's 2 that we're not really able to predict, but then there's a deco, there's usually a Marin Foal, there's a split run in matte gloss, there's a vintage, there's a split run with a mane or tail change, or some kind of change. Dead Heat had 2 color variations, that sort of thing. There's an animal, and then there's the surprise. So we kind of jotted down a good amount of molds for the special runs. I think it might be easier to talk about the animal special run first, simply because there's less options.
I put so much thought into that already.
Did you really? Go ahead, Courtney. Take the reins.
I've been on a real moose kick lately. I want an albino moose so bad, because we have one in the UP.
Oh, yeah.
That would be so scary to come across in the woods.
Moose are terrifying to begin with.
Yeah, but can you imagine just this big white beast coming at you?
At least
Courtney.
you can see him coming.
No, but guys, that's our Moby Dick. The great
We don't have
white
whales in Lake Superior, but we do have an albino moose.
Oh my God.
Now, I thought, haven't they done a white moose before?
Kinda.
Or am I thinking of something else?
Wasn't. It was a decorator, because it had silver on it.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't a true albino moose.
Okay. You want, like, a true albino moose.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And
it'd also be cool with, like, basically an albino anything. I don't know. I just wanted some, like, legit animals to take pictures of.
Right. Well, see, okay, my first, like, my immediate thought when I was thinking about the animals is I the deer family went over really well when they re-released those. So I know they did, like, the spotted elk a couple years ago, but how cool would it be to have, like, a deer family where one's normal, one's a piebald, and one's an albino? Like, that would be really neat.
Oh, yeah.
And then some kind of, like, it has been so long since they've used the buffalo for anything other than, like, online, like, the one-of-a-kind test draws and that kind of thing. So
there was the
silver filigree deco one, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want, like, updated animals, because all of their large animal they've all been, like, crappily painted or decorated and vintage, and it's like...
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, Breyer did do, they did actually do an albino moose. It's called Ghost. And I'm just looking at some blog posts here about it. It's like a $250, or no, it was like a run of $250 or something.
I'm looking on Identify your Breyer, and it says there's sporty made of it, but it doesn't say what it was a web special for. It just says web special.
I think it was just a regular web special, like that kind of thing that they do where they just draw names. And I'm pretty sure they also did a white buffalo. Yeah, they also did a white buffalo. Yeah. But then they did the one that was like a silver body buffalo with the white mane. But I mean, there's still options. Oh no, guys, my game.
Oh no.
You're still here for me.
Oh no.
You're still here for us.
Your horses are all here, but you're not.
Everybody stand up and then sit back down.
Please. Guys.
You don't see us?
I don't see. Your horses are all here, but you are not.
Run away from the campfire.
Oh, my penguin!
Moving my penguin.
Guys, my penguin!
Yeah. My
Guys,
penguin was on a bench.
guys, my penguin!
He's the elbow him.
Pingu!
How did your penguin get in the fire?
I don't know! Pingu! So we were talking about the albino moose and the buffalo and everything. So I think it's got to be between one of those three. Like, I know we've also got the Texas Longhorn and the mountain goat on here. But I don't...
Yeah.
I think the Longhorn is also feasible. They've done so many cows that I would really hope that maybe no more cows for a while. Like, I kind of hoped that last year, and then we got another cow.
There is albino pronghorn, so it's possible. Plus, I haven't done it since 2014, and there's only 3 different pronghorn.
Oh.
So.
Well, that would be interesting too, is an albino pronghorn.
They're just like, kind of like a creamy white with like brown on their noses. I don't know, they're cute.
So, which one should I whip up for the, or should I not bother to do the animal for the speed painting? Should I just do the special runs? Like the, should I just do the horse ones?
I feel like you don't need to do the animal.
Okay. Because I also use them for the thumbnail, so, like, I'll just do the raffle models and the horse special runs that we think are cool. Ones that we design, that we think are cool, that we want at our own BreyerFest. Okay, next thing that's probably going to be easiest to talk about is the vintage. So looking at the vintage molds that I have on this list, I got Brown Sunshine, John Henry, Justin Morgan, and Holla.
I think they should do Brown Sunshine. Isn't that the mule?
Yes.
They should do that.
See, like, I know I'm the one that put that on there, but my other thought too is, like, they've still got Buckeye in production.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
He could be like another, they could do him as like another guest horse or whatever.
That's, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really like Holla. I don't know. She's so ugly. She's cute. She's like real string beanie and everything. I don't know. I like that. The thing is though, what color? Like, okay, I'm gonna scroll down to our little color cheat sheet down here. We've already used Brindle on the Raffle horse. It'd be kind of cool if she was in like a Mankato color. Like you could do a Mankato that's not necessarily super complex, and that way she'd make kind of like a pretty good polo pony. Because she's got that, yeah, she's got that look to her. That would be really neat, as like a polo pony version of Holla.
Mm-hmm. I almost would actually like that.
I know.
I would never want to get a vintage ever.
Yeah, like I last year they used Sham and the Tricaner. I mean, although I don't know if the Tricaner counts as vintage. Does it? Is it? Maybe.
I would consider it, but I don't know if it actually is.
I know, like, I would consider it vintage too, but I'm not sure.
It looks vintage.
It does look vintage, yeah. Okay, now here we get into the messy stuff. I know they've already got one in the regular run lineup, but I really want to see the Lipizan mare in full. Because you could do some super fun stuff with them color-wise. Because there are historical Lipizans that are like black leopard, which would be fun. That's, I mean, that's personally what I would go with. I don't know if you guys have any other ideas about like what colors you could do on that. That would kind of be crazy. Although they did already use those for the was it the racing year? It was the first year you guys went to BreyerFest.
That was Julep and Pim, so it was the
race. Yeah. So maybe I'm wrong on that, and maybe they're not going to use Giselle again, and they're not going to use the Welsh mare in foal again. So I don't know. Maybe a mare in foal is out of the cards this year. So that would leave another spot open for a random special run that we have no idea what it would be. I've got, okay, mold options for special runs. Me and Courtney both agreed on the Marwari.
Yeah.
What color? We also thought like weird markings could count as in this like odd color options. So Breyer has rarely done anything with a badger face. So like maybe something with a badger face on the Marwari would be cool. Like even if it's just a dapple black.
Or any funky Sabino thing, honestly.
Yeah, like an extreme Sabino in the market.
That would be
I
good.
found a thing that I like. I'm going to send it. Hold on.
Okay. I'll do the mock-up of the extreme Sabino because I'm just a sucker for that. So that would be really, really neat. Another thought I had is they'd maybe use the zebra again, like the actual zebra mold again, but make it like a Zorse. Because it really, we know that they can do complex complex stripe patterns in mass production thanks to the candy cane zebras. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to be like extremely great quality because they are making, although maybe they would only make 800 of that as well, because like they only make about 800 of the animal, or the of the animal. If the zebra is in addition to that, maybe they'll only do 800 to 1,000 of the zebra.
Would they count the zebra as an animal if they did it?
See, I don't know. I
don't
wouldn't.
think they should, because it's still like an equine, isn't it?
Right.
So...
That's my thought. Is it's still
Right.
it's still horse shaped.
Horse shit.
Well,
It's still mostly horse. It's fine.
yeah.
See, it would be nice to get some more models on like the zebra and the mule and like all that, because it's always just horses and then like a random animal.
Right. We need more exotics.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Icelandic horses come in that weird mosaic color. That's like a chimera. They haven't used that Icelandic mold in years.
Yeah, we were talking about that last year.
I know!
It's been this like a constant thing of like, when are they gonna use it? They're gonna use it someday, but when are they gonna use it?
I mean,
That would be so cute.
what are... I did not do mock-up art of that last year, though. So, like, I don't know. Could they do it this year? Who knows?
I want them to do that one Icelandic horse that looks like an emo kid wearing a hoodie. You all know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I found him just now, and I love him.
Drop that in the chat. I know the last year we talked about Bristol being the 50-50 split with the mane tail change.
Mm-hmm.
Now we did get a 50-50 split with the mane and tail change, but we got it on strapless. So what if we're right this time?
Maybe.
And we say that this time, because like
If we
you
keep
could.
saying it, someday it's gonna be right.
I know. Let's run with that. Because actually, I think the Icelandic would be a really fun split matte gloss run. Because, especially with the color that you sent us, Kenzie, like, that would be really cool. Also, the Sabino Marwari would be really cool in a split matte gloss, too. What if we're right about Bristol this year?
I mean, the fact that we could see Bristol on the cover for Art of the Horse makes me
Yeah!
kind of
Yeah!
Bristol this year.
No one has we've gotten to this point. We have been on for an hour and 15 minutes, and we have not brought that up yet.
I haven't even click in my brain this entire time.
Yeah, I know, because I was looking at the picture, because I was looking stuff up, and I saw Bristol, and I'm like, wait a minute, what if they do Bristol?
It would be really fun if they did what if it's like a silver gene on Bristol? Like a Silver Bay Bristol?
Oh.
Like a loose mane.
Yeah. See, because you could do a split between, if it's split mane and tail like they did with Epona, and you have braided versus loose mane. Like that would look nice. I mean, I totally love that we're just like shooting off random colors. Okay, I really want a Grua Dundee.
Slap a Tobiano on that.
Oh
Guys,
yeah.
I feel like we need to address something.
Yeah.
Remember Pinto, Appaloosa, Brindle, Roan. That Roan thing gotta be in there, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere it's gotta be.
Okay, looking at our list of molds here, we haven't used the Nakota, we haven't used True North or Silver, or it could be another vintage, and it's there's a Roan on another vintage. Because last year, technically, if you count the Tricaner as vintage, we technically had two. A Roan on John Henry would be kind of cute. I actually like the John Henry mold. Maybe a blue Roan John Henry with reversed apples.
That'd be kind of pretty.
Right? Now we gotta talk about the decorator. I think
Rainbow.
Yeah, but I think they should do it on silver. Think about all the stuff they've been doing with the rainbow horses lately.
Because I feel like if they did a rainbow horse, they would have to make it different in some way, so it didn't seem like it was just another prism or like crystalline kind of run.
Right.
I don't know what they could do to make it seem like something more special.
Yeah. Something else I thought about too is that what if they actually like make it look like it's been splattered with paint.
Ooh.
Because that would be fun. Like, if it's actually, like splash painted. Or, similar to how I did that one appy for stone, instead of a blanket appy with the rainbow, they actually do, like, a full leopard appy in rainbow. Me and Courtney went off about the surprise horse. I think it's Sage. If we look at the pattern of, they used the surprise horse in the previous year's live auction, and there's Sage. But also,
she's been in the live auction so many times.
I know, but this is our year.
Didn't they stop the production of Win too?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's none of that being used.
Yep.
And it hasn't been used for any web specials or anything. So.
Yup. But also, Mustangs come in all sorts of crazy colors. We could have Leopard Complex. We could have Splash. We could have Roan. We could have the reverse Dapple. We could give her a crazy badger face. And the surprise mold isn't always something that's really popular. I mean, we've had Latigo and the Andalusian Stallion from Moody. And, you know, a couple
Your
other...
enthusiasm and all these ideas are actually making me die inside. Because you know I'm going to want one in gloss.
Right.
And
Now,
people hate this mold just enough that it won't be an expensive surprise horse.
exactly. You'd probably be able to get them, like, the whole set of them for, like, $250 or something.
But they're surprise horses, so all the colors are really nice. So
Right.
I'm not...
And see, my other thought was, like, maybe they'd use, like, Salinero, but I don't think they're going to do 2 warm blood molds in a row, because they typically haven't, like, done that. Like, they typically, for a surprise horse, they haven't used 2 of the same body type in a row.
I will say, I feel like a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's going to be Salinero as a surprise horse this year. Oh, it's going to be Salinero as a surprise horse this year for, like, 3 years in a row now.
Oh, I know.
So, like, I feel like eventually they're also going to be right.
Yeah. Now, this wouldn't fit in the pattern, but True North as a surprise horse. But like I said, it doesn't fit in the pattern, so I don't think...
Yeah.
My only other thought was maybe Bluegrass Bandit, because Tennessee Walkers come in some weird colors too.
I can see that.
Also, notice how last year there was no deco on the surprise horse.
So there will be one this year.
There definitely will be one this year with the theme. I think I'm gonna leave this video here. I know Carmen popped in a little late. We'll still hang out with Carmen on Star Stable, but I think we're done with our BreyerFest speculation. But that was really awesome, and none of these ideas are going to happen. We don't work for Breyer. We don't work for Breyer.
I have my 10-second one. I'm gonna say something that's never gonna happen, but I think it's gonna be amusing.
Alright, Carmen, go.
Remember the theme is like, what is the theme?
The theme is horse of a different color this year.
Okay, so you know, like, you remember those bears that you can draw in with marker and then you throw them in the washing machine?
Yeah.
One of those, but it's just a Breyer horse with an erasable marker.
Hey, Carmen,
That's my bet.
That actually happened one year.
Wait, that already happened?
They did an autograph model, and it was blank and it came with a marker.
Carmen, there's also a chalkboard horse.
There's also an emoji sticker horse too.
Yep.
I thought it was being original.
Well, to be fair, there's no horse that you can throw in the washing machine.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
washing machine horse. I'm gonna make the very first washing machine horse.
Alright, everybody, thanks for hanging out, and thank you guys for joining and talking to me about this. I've got to go and work on the I'm gonna have to work on making all these mock-ups of everything we talked about, which is gonna be actually probably a lot of fun, and I will cry because I know they'll never happen. But anyway, thanks for sticking around, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!